The Department of Infectious Diseases in La Rabta Hospital receives a phone call from the emergency department of the hospital about a tourist who suffers from headache, fever, and walking trouble since 2 days. The decision was to hospitalize the patient for exploration and treatment. The patient was transported to the ward. A senior physician started the medical examination by interviewing the patient, who informed that she had a journey in Tunisia where she visited monuments in the northern and eastern coasts. It was the hot season and she suffered from mosquito bites, especially near the lakes. She is suffering from headache, fever, muscle pain, dizziness, and fatigue. The exam showed meningeal irritation signs, fever at 39 degrees Celsius, dysmetria, and coordination abnormalities. The exam of other function was normal. Based on these clinical and epidemiological data, encephalitis was suspected, probably due to West Nile virus. It was decided to collect the necessary clinical samples for laboratory confirmation of this diagnostic. Given the current context, it was first necessary to eliminate COVID-19 infection. A rapid test was performed. The result was negative. Blood and urine samples were then collected from the patient. The senior physician subsequently performed a lumbar puncture. The 3 samples were placed in a cool box according to hazard protection rules and were sent to the microbiology lab of the same hospital together with an information laboratory form. At the laboratory level, the samples are received and it was decided to perform a quick-lamp test on the urine and CSF sample for rapid screening of West Nile virus infection. The laboratory technician prepares on the bench all what is needed for the assay. The samples kept in their cold box, a tube holder with 2 Eppendorf tubes labeled urine and CSF, a refrigerated tube holder with reagents taken from the -20 freezer, tube A, tube B, tube C, and tube D. All these reagents should be kept on ice during the test. Four PCR tubes labeled urine, CSF, positive control and negative control are also prepared. An adjustable micropipette is also needed, as well as filter tips, a waste box, the BioPix device, a tablet or a smartphone with the Pebble Rio application already uploaded. The assay begins with the treatment of the sample. In the 2 empty Eppendorf tubes, we have to put 20 microliter from tube A, which is a lysis buffer, and 20 microliter of sample, urine or CSF. In the 4 PCR empty tubes placed in the refrigerated tube holder, the QC-lamp reaction mix is prepared by adding in each tube 12.5 microliter from tube B, 5 microliter from tube C, and 2.5 microliter from tube D. Finally, 5 microliter of treated urine, treated CSF, positive control or water are added in the corresponding tubes. The reaction tube are now ready, and we have to connect the device to electric power. Open the device. Open the PeopleRio application in the smartphone or the tablet. We will have to introduce the email address and the password. Connect the device to the smartphone via Bluetooth. Enter the number of tubes that will be run. Check and validate the temperature and the duration of the reaction, as well as the dye used. Enter ID numbers of the 4 reaction tubes. Tube number 1 is the urine sample, tube number 2 is the CSF sample, tube number 3 is the positive control, and tube number 4 is the negative control. Place the PCR tubes in the rack of the device, close, and press start. After 30 minutes, first check if the negative control is negative. This kind of plate curve is characteristic of a negative result, and that the positive control is positive with an exponential curve that is characteristic of a positive result. Only when the control results are okay, the test is considered as valid and we can interpret the results of the patients, which is here strong positive for urines and slightly weaker but clearly positive for CSF. The samples, urine, CSF and bloods are now to be sent to the regional reference laboratory for further investigation, such as serology, real-time PCR or sequencing if needed. And the results are transmitted to the clinical department.